Hello music fans, I'm making this Vinyl Tag 2023 video because I saw Niamh the Prog Nerd did one of these over on her channel about a week ago, and it had some really interesting prompts that made me think about what I would pick for my collection for these prompts. So without further ado, let's jump in, and if you want to continue this train, post your own selections for these prompts in the comments, or make your own video response and post that in the comments as well. Let's start with the first prompt, which is favorite new release of 2022. And for me, that is Toe Hider. I have little to no memory of these memories. Really great album. It's one long song, like a 47-minute song, and it goes through all sorts of different genres and has the great vocals of Michael Mills, and he plays all the instruments on here too. He plays the guitars and drums, and he's just amazing at all those things. The second prompt is the last band or solo artist that I saw live, and that would be Haken. And here's their first album, Aquarius, which is my favorite Haken album. But I saw them on the Fauna tour, and Arch Echo opened up for them, and they were both really great. Arch Echo is like an instrumental prog metal band. Next prompt is their first album was their best album, and for that I picked Protest the Hero and Keziah. I think it's debatable because all their albums are really great, but for me their debut just holds a special place in my heart because it's the first album of theirs that I heard, and I really like everything they did, but this blew my mind when it came out. Yeah, just holds a special place in my heart. It's kind of the album that got me into prog metal. It has really fast guitar playing, kind of progressive metalcore style. And next is Hat Trick, which is show the vinyl, CD, and cassette of an album. I don't have any cassettes, so I'm just going to show the CD and vinyl versions of some things that I have. So I've got CD versions of Xanthocroid, of Earth and Axon, part 1 and 2. Really great cinematic black metal band. And yeah, they kind of flow into each other, these albums, and they make one long epic story, and they actually tie into this is Xanthocroid's second and third full-length album. They tie into the story from the first full-length as well, and I think even the EP. And yeah, it's just really great. A lot of like folky, kind of medieval sounding stuff, but then a lot of black metal on here too. And I'm actually featured on one of the songs. My vocals are in the choir for Through Caverns Old and Yawning, I think is what it's called. It was fun to be a part of that, and I really love these albums. So I have them on CD as well as on vinyl. They Came Together, Act 1 and 2. You can buy them together, and actually on the inside of this one, I think there's like a kind of board game type thing that you could play, which is kind of neat. Let's see, what is the next prompt? The next prompt is album that starts and ends with the same letter, and for that I have Scurrilous by Protest the Hero. I love this album cover with the lady with the long tongue. And this is Protest the Hero's third album. Also really great. They go a lot softer here. Keziah and Fortress. Fortress is their second album, Keziah is their first. Fortress is probably their heaviest and most metal, most hardcore. Then Scurrilous pretty much almost has no screams. It has the odd scream, but very much softer than Keziah and Fortress. Although the music is still really fast, the guitars are still really fast, it's just got a different vibe to it than the first two. but really cool. Still love it. And next prompt is born in the same year as you. So an album that came out in the same year I was born. So that would be 1990, and I've got Painkiller by Judas Priest, which came out in 1990. My favorite album came out that year. I don't have it on vinyl, but I got the CD here. And next, the prompt is my most listened to album in 2022. I'm not actually sure which that is, but of the ones I bought, I think it was probably Porcupine Tree, Closure Continuation. Really great album. The band, I think it was it 13 years since their last one? Something like that. So they took a bit of a hiatus as Steven Wilson was doing his solo material and focusing on that, but I'm really happy that they put out this album, and hopefully they make some more. Even though Steven Wilson's solo stuff is also great, there's something special about Porcupine Tree when Steven Wilson gets together with Gavin Harrison and Richard Barbieri. Too bad Colin Edwin wasn't on bass on here, but Steven Wilson plays bass really well on here, so I still enjoy it. And my most listened to artist in 2022, I think that would likely be King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Here's their album, Murder of the Universe. Hopefully you don't hear that car alarm going off in the background there. Oh, it just stopped. Okay. Yeah, Murder of the Universe. It didn't come out in 2022, but it's one of theirs that I have on vinyl. I have a couple of theirs on vinyl, but I don't have any of their 2022 albums on vinyl. But they released 5 albums in 2022, so I listened to all of those. And I also saw King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard live in 2022, so I listened to a lot of their stuff in preparation for that. And I did the ranking video of their discography. I don't remember when I did that though. I think it was before some of their 2022 stuff came out with my friend Zandy. So that's on the channel if you're interested in my thoughts on King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's discography. And next prompt is an Australian artist or band, which I did just talk about King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, who's from Australia, but I've got another Australian band that I'd like to show, which is Niamh the Prog. This is their album from this year, Exul, and I'll be seeing them live in November, I think. So excited for that. What's next? Surprising purchase of 2022. I don't know that I'm really surprised by anything that I purchased, but I'll say I'll use Porcupine Tree Closure Continuation as I was surprised that that album even existed. I thought that we'd never have another Porcupine Tree album again after the incident, and I was surprised when they announced that they were coming out with a new album in 2022. So that's my surprising purchase of 2022. Not surprised that I purchased it, but surprised because I never thought they'd make another album. An artist or a band that you're complete on is the next prompt. So that means an artist or band that you have their full discography. For me, that would be Xanthocroid, the cinematic black metal band. Here's their debut EP, Incultus. Really great EP. Possibly one of the best, my favorite black metal EP of all time, I think. Then I've got their first album, Blessed He with Boils. Really great album. Really the first black metal album that I actually liked. I never liked black metal. I didn't like the shrieking vocals until I heard this, and I still didn't really like the shrieking vocals at first, but the music on here was so amazing and cinematic that it drew me in, and then it just kind of grew on me. So I really like this one, Blessed He with Boils by Xanthocroid. And then I already showed this one, their second and third album that are kind of together in this box set of Earth and Axon, Act 1 and 2. So that's all their stuff, and I even have those ones on CD as well. Hopefully they make new music in the future. They went kind of dark after A Birth and Axon, and I don't know what's going on. If they're ever going to make anything again, they might be done. Hopefully they make some new stuff. And next prompt is a great run of 3 albums. I mean, I just showed one right there, but I'll show another one just to get some variety in here. I'm going to show Rush, A Farewell to Kings, through Permanent Waves. So A Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, and Permanent Waves. And for those, for A Farewell to Kings, I've got the 40th anniversary box set, which has 4 vinyls, so 8 sides, and side 1 and 2 are just the normal album, but then there's side 3, which is a live show live at the Hammersmith Odeon. Side 4 is the same live show, and side 5 as well, and even side 6. So side 7. Yeah, so side 1 and 2 is the normal album. Side 3 through 7 is a live show live at Hammersmith Odeon, February 20th, 1978. And then side 8 is other bands covering Rush, which is pretty cool. It has Dream Theater covering Xanadu, Big Wreck covering Closer to the Heart, The Trues with Cinderella Man, Alan Johannes with Madrigal, and Cygnus X is being covered by 2A. I don't know who that is, but the covers on here are pretty good. And then there's Hemispheres, another great album by Rush. This is also the 40th anniversary. So side 1 and 2 are just the normal albums, and then there's bonus content as well. It's got 6 sides in total. So side 3 through 5 are live at Pink Pop Festival, June 4th, 1979, and side 6 is live in Arizona, November 20, 1978. And lastly, this is not a anniversary version. This is just the standard Rush Permanent Waves. Great track list on here. Love Rush and their classic 70s stuff. And well, this one's from 1980. And actually my favorite album of Rush's would be the album after this, Moving Pictures, but I don't have that on vinyl. I think I've got that on CD though. And next prompt is 80s soundtrack. I don't own any 80s soundtracks on vinyl or CD. I don't own any in physical format, but my favorite 80s soundtrack album is Dream After Dream by Journey. And actually, I'm a weird Journey fan, and that's actually my favorite Journey album out of all of them. I know a lot of people like their big radio hits, but this album has got the great Journey deep cuts. It's kind of like the proggiest album with Steve Perry on vocals, and Steve Perry is obviously my favorite Journey vocalist, even though all their vocalists have been pretty solid. But Steve Perry's the legendary one, the one that everybody loves the most. But I kind of like the progressive sound more than the pop rock sound that a lot of their albums have, and this one is the one that has Steve Perry that has the most progressive sound. Dream After Dream, their soundtrack album. I have not seen the movie that it's the soundtrack for. Don't know if it's like a well-known movie. I think the only reason I've heard this is because it's by Journey, not because I know anything about the movie. Next prompt is We Lost Them in 2022. I don't know that I have any albums for this prompt, but we lost Taylor Hawkins of Foo Fighters, and may he rest in peace. I don't own any of their stuff on physical format, but I love all their albums. Really great alternative rock band. Prompt number 15 was a disappointing purchase in 2022. I don't really have any. I'm happy with all the stuff that I bought in 2022. They're all solid albums. Number 16 is a non-vinyl purchase. For that, I bought the Haken album Fauna from this year, 2023. And it's got two discs actually. One disc is the normal album, the second disc is the instrumental version of the album. And I saw them live on this tour. They were great. And next prompt is you found a grail. My holy grail that I found is The World is Quiet Here, and their album Zon. Thanks to the Rhyme Signatures channel for putting this on my map. This is really great for fans of Between the Buried and Me. It's a lesser known band, but hopefully they take off. This is just their second album. Hopefully they can become one of the next big things in that progressive metal, that kind of spastic, chaotic extreme. Between the Buried and Me, kind of like Others by No One, that kind of sound, a little bit of like Native Construct. This is kind of the next thing in that style. And it's, I don't know what's meant by you found a grail. Maybe that prompt was supposed to mean like my most expensive find or something, but I interpret it to mean just like a lesser known gem. So that's the one I picked. Next we have a space themed album. A space themed album sleeve or song. So I've got Pacific Myth by Protest the Hero. It's an EP and it's got a picture of space, like there's Earth, outer space, and what are these, like flying stingrays flying through outer space? Yeah, something like that. So I think that's pretty cool. And on the back there's some more space stuff. And the next prompt was show some VCLT or a present. I think VCLT stands for Vinyl Community Love Train. I am not a part of any of that, but a present. I showed these earlier, the 40th anniversary Rush, Farewell to Kings, and Hemispheres were presents from my in-laws. So thanks to them for that. And lastly, the very last prompt in the video is show an album released in 1973, and for that it is Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. Really great album, one of the best-selling albums of all time, and crazy thing that's happening this year is that Roger Waters is making his own version of this, like a redux version with just him and none of the other band members. I've heard the song Money from it, and it's kind of weird. I will definitely be checking it out, but I'm not too enthusiastic or excited about it. I'm just checking it out of curiosity more so. I'm sure the original will be better, but curious to hear what Roger wants to do to it when he reduxes it. And that's it for the Vinyl Tag 2023 video idea that I got from Niamh the Prog Nerd. Play along at home, leave your picks down in the comments. I'll put the prompts in the description so you can read them. There's 20 prompts. Even if you don't have one for everything, pick the ones that you think of. Maybe make a video response. Post a link down in the comments, I'll check them out. And yeah, just thought this was a fun video to make. Usually I've been making album ranking videos and yeah, like my top 10 albums of each month that came out on my channel, and I've been doing my first impressions on new releases as they come out, and this is just a nice break, something different for a change. So stay tuned until next time, if you hit that subscribe button, or if the algorithm feeds you my videos. Until then, peace out.